Our special guest today on the line, a former College of Charleston great and now Charlotte Hornet, Joe Chealey. Joe, first of all, how are you doing and your family and everyone during this obviously unprecedented time?
First of all, thanks for having me. And we're doing well, man. Obviously, it's a little different. These times are unprecedented, but we're just trying to do our part in social distancing and trying to keep ourselves busy, man, So just trying to find stuff to do. But it's everybody's healthy, man. We're doing well. Thanks for asking.
Absolutely. So what have been some of the stuff you've been doing kind of during this off time now, with basketball season just abruptly stopping as it has?
Sure. So, trying to work out with the resources that I have as much as possible, trying to stay in some type of shape. And then outside of that, man, I've had a chance to spend some quality time with my girl and just been hanging out, honestly, man, eating, watching movies, playing video games, card games, the whole nine, man. So just trying to kind of take you back to being a kid where you got to be creative and find some things to do. So it's been fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Video games has been a hot topic, it seems like, for everybody right now who is taking a little time off from their athletic career. But, Joe, let's talk about your journey a little bit. Going from being undrafted to closing the season with the Hornets, what has that been like?
It's been a journey, like you said, man. It was always a goal of mine, and I couldn't predict how the journey would unfold, but obviously I'm just super grateful for the opportunity and the people that helped me out along the way. I couldn't have got here by myself, and it's been a lot of ups and downs, but ultimately, man, I get to play a game for a living, and that's a blessing in itself. So it's been a fun ride,
You just talked about ups and downs. I would have to think what the biggest up so far maybe in your NBA career has to go back to January 30th of 2019 versus the Celtics. What was that experience like, hearing your name called to check in for your first NBA game?
That was it was surreal. I kind of, when I play, man, I get caught up in the moment and like lose sight of the bigger picture sometimes. I just focus on the task at hand. So I was so caught up in the game and trying to do my job, man, it didn't really sink in until after the game. When I got back to the locker room, it was like, man, I played my first NBA game, scored my first point, and I was just super thankful, man. It was a surreal moment, and it was the result of, like I said before, just a lot of people that kind of helped me along the way, a product of their hard work and all the time that we spent. So super surreal moment, man. I can't say that enough.
You just mentioned a lot of people helping you along the way on this journey. Who have been your biggest influences so far in your career?
Yeah, obviously my parents, man, my dad and my mom, they kind of laid the foundation of hard work for me. And then, I couldn't name everybody, but the College of Charleston, obviously with Coach Grant there, and the whole staff, Coach Farrell, Coach Brown, Coach Powell, just the Coach Proto, the strength coach, and then all of my teammates, man. Just everybody that was a part of that program. That's like a second family to me, man. And I'm best friends with the guys to this day. We're super tight, and I'm still super tight with all the coaches, man. It's just that was a real pivotal point in my life going to the College of Charleston, and it'll always be my second home. So everybody that was part of that program played a part in this, and I'm super grateful for them.
Speaking of the College of Charleston, that kind of leads me to my next question. You were the first of your college teammates, Jarrell Brantley, who currently is in the NBA, of course, with the Jazz, and Grant Riller, who's on a lot of mock draft boards right now. What does it mean to you to have kind of paved the way, paved the path for Charleston in regards to the NBA?
I don't know if I take all the credit for paving the way, man. Those two specifically were super talented before they even met me. But it's kind of crazy to see, man, to look back and you have potentially 3 NBA guys on the same roster. And speaking to Rel and Grant specifically, man, they're so talented, man, and they're about the right things. And honestly, man, the sky's the limit for both of them. I saw it last year with Rel getting drafted. And we talk a lot about our journeys, and then we both talk to Grant a lot, man, because we know he's there's no limit to where he can take it to. So it's for me, I guess you can say like I'm kind of like the proud big bro because I guess I went through it first, but they'll take it hopefully further than I ever will. So wish them nothing but success.
Being the bigger brother, like you said, what type of advice did you give both of these gentlemen as they prepared for the NBA?
Yeah, so with me and Real, man, obviously we're a year apart. We spent a lot of time together in the gym leading up to his process. So we worked out together, man, and it was kind of cool, like him getting drafted and kind of going through the same thing with the Jazz now being on two-way. The best thing about it is we get to kind of share experiences with each other. We get to bounce our experiences off of each other. So as much as people might assume that like I kind of give him advice, man, like hearing what he goes through like helps me too, because I'm only in my second year, obviously. And then with Grant, man, it's kind of a combination of me and Real kind of trying to like just help him out whenever he needs it, and hopefully he can benefit a little bit from our experience and some of the choices and mistakes that we've made along the way. So it's a blessing, man, to have guys get to this level. And so we'll see how it goes, but it's cool.
How much do you keep up with the College of Charleston? I know it's busy with the NBA season, but I'm sure you still have time to watch some games now and then. And also, what was one of your favorite memories? Obviously, one of them probably winning the CAA title, but I'm sure you have lots more than just that one.
Sure. So your first question, how much do I keep up with them? And I keep up with every game. If I can't watch, I'm tuned in on the app, either ESPN app or the Score app, keeping up with every single game, man. All the guys. Obviously, I'm not too far removed, so I know pretty much everybody in the program, from players to staff, and obviously people around the college. So I'm super invested, man. I thought I was invested while I was playing, and obviously I was, but man, it's nerve-wracking watching it when you can't influence the game yourself, man. So it's tougher watching it from afar. Obviously, at the top of the list is the CAA championship in North Charleston. If I had to pick another one outside of that, my basketball memory, maybe clinching the regular season at home in our last regular season game. It was senior night, and there was a lot of emotion that went into that for our senior class because we had humble beginnings, man, from our first year together with Coach Grant, only winning 9 games and trying to build the program to a championship program. That moment, that night, on senior night, our last game in front of the fans in TD Arena, that was probably just right up there with my top memories in Charleston. So.
You talked about building the program, and you played in the CAA, and you know how tough it is. And just talk about the league, your impression of the conference. I mean, like we've already discussed, you, Jarrell, Grant Riller now about to go to the NBA, Justin Wright, former of Hofstra in the NBA with Jarrell out in Utah, Nathan Knight at William and Mary on many draft boards. Just talk about playing against some of those guys and some of the competition night in and night out.
Yeah, so for those that don't really know, man, the CAA is high level, you know what I'm saying, in terms of even when I go and play professionally against guys, like some of the best players I've played against have been in college and conference, and I've been in it for 5 years. So I remember the days of Wanye Green, and I don't want to miss anybody's names, with Marcus Thornton from William and Mary, David Walker from Northeastern, Quincy Ford from Northeastern. Like I studied it, man. Like I could go on and on about the list of guys that have came and left a mark in the CAA. And it's just high level. And obviously those guys that you named are pros in their own right. It's just high level, night in, night out. You'll see guys that'll be playing basketball for a long time. So that competition is probably the best aspect of it. So it's fun, man.
Wrapping up here today with Joe Chealey, a former College of Charleston great, and now with the Charlotte Hornets. Joe, you have moved back and forth between the Hornets and the Greensboro Swarm. What has the organization told you in regards to focusing on while you're down with the Swarm to get you ready to play with the Hornets?
Yeah, so just kind of staying engaged, man, and that hasn't really been a problem for me. But the tough thing about like this transition or the situation that I'm in, and hopefully guys can kind of learn from it, is like you never know when your number's going to be called. Last year I was a two-way, so I kind of moved up and down a little bit, and this year has been different. And I spent the majority or all of the first part of the season with the Swarm, not knowing when or if my number would be called. And fortunately, man, they gave me the phone call and told me I would sign a 10-day, and then after that, a second 10-day. So they just tell me, man, just to stay ready and keep working. They like what I've been doing. They've always kind of been pleased with the way I've played since I've gotten into the organization. But a lot of like opportunity is out of my control. So just trying to stay ready, and that's what they've been echoing, and just to continue to work. So.
And last question for you, Joe. You just talked about staying ready. Obviously, we don't know when the season will resume, and if and when it does, what are some of the goals you have maybe for the rest of this season if it's played, if not next season?
Yeah, so hopefully, I don't know how it'll play out, but if the season resumes this year, I guess my goal is just to finish it out with the Hornets. However long the season is, obviously it's up in the air. But especially for next season, man, like I'm already kind of itching to get back in the lab and start working and give it a shot again next year, man, because you get a little taste of it, and it kind of excites you, man, and it makes you want more. So I have my little taste, and hopefully I can work and get another opportunity to become a main name in the league here in the next few years. So.
All right, Joe Chealey joining us today. Joe, stay safe and healthy out there, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely. Appreciate it. Appreciate you having me, man, and stay safe, man. Talk to you soon.